break from what you're doing. Take a break from your scrolling, or whatever you might be doing. And just take a conscious breath. Just take one breath where you notice that you're breathing. And I will too. How does that feel? How does that feel to just bring your awareness to your breath? I invite you to watch this video. I'm Tom Kirkham, Big Island, Hawaii, and to continue just bringing your awareness back to your conscious breath as we have this discussion here. And feel free to have it be a discussion by commenting below as things come up for you. Thoughts, ideas, questions, whatever. I would love for you to comment below. And if you're somebody who's been maybe watching some of my videos in the past and you haven't commented yet, I would love to hear from you. Like I say, I'm Tom Kirkham, Big Island, Hawaii. I love to help people. Well, I just love to help people. But I like to help people have less pain and more energy and more financial freedom and more mental clarity in their life. And these breathing techniques are a key part of it. And it starts always with bringing awareness just to the fact that you're breathing. And it can be so amazing. And I love sharing it. I love sharing it because I do it all the more, even though it's a regular thing for me. And I do it all the more since I share it. And so it can be a source of great inner strength and strength of spirit to do this practice of just connecting with your conscious breathing. And so it's just, if you don't know, you might be aware of your breathing like by noticing the rise and fall of your body. If you've accepted my invitation to just gently bring your attention to your breathing, you might notice it coming in your nose. Maybe it's the cool air coming in your nose. Maybe it's warm air going out your mouth. Wherever you notice it. And what happens when you start to notice your breathing? Do you maybe take a deeper breath? Do you maybe exhale more fully? And you don't have to really change anything, but these are all suggestions of things you can notice about your breathing. How fully do you exhale? What emotions come up for you as you bring this awareness to your breathing? What thoughts, memories, anxieties, whatever other emotions come up for you as you bring your awareness? And does it kind of want to grab your attention maybe and pull your awareness away from your breathing? And then do you just gently, forgivingly say, I'm not going to push this thought away or this feeling. I don't need to do anything like that. I'm just going to forgivingly, lovingly bring my awareness back to my breathing. And that in itself is a basis for many other practices, and it's a practice in itself. And you can do this like as a meditation, right? Or you can do this, I do both, right? You can do this like throughout life, like if you're in line at the grocery store and it's stressful or whatever. And this is a crazy time right now at grocery stores, so. But even if you're wearing a mask and whatever, you can still, it's still okay to breathe. It's still okay to breathe. And so this can become a habit, a habitual thing of when you notice experiences, thoughts, feelings, emotions, that you gently ground yourself in your breathing as well with that too. And forgivingly, I like to include that with it, right? So bringing forgiveness into the moment. And so this becomes like what I focus on, and this becomes an influence on my relationships. And so I told a story yesterday in the video. If you saw the video, if you didn't, it's totally cool. But I told a quick story about a neighbor I had and how that relationship totally changed. And to follow up on that, this neighbor was somebody who had a lot of complaints and didn't, he just had a lot of complaints, and that's kind of how I thought of him. That, is that he was harassing us, and he had a lot of complaints. And I told the story yesterday of how the relationship eventually changed, and he's been actually giving us gifts. He's been giving us gifts. And so this plant behind me is one of those gifts. And actually, in a moment, I'm going to move that. It was raining yesterday, so I had it out. And today it's sunny, so I'm going to let it be in the shade. And so what I noticed about that, it was very interesting to me, is that, when it went on for about a year when he was not happy with us, before the owner of this property spoke to him about the situation, and he came to a different understanding of what our arrangement was here, as I spoke about yesterday. No big deal about the details. But that's just what I thought of him. When he was harassing us, that's just who I thought he was. And so it's maybe good to remember that people aren't only how you interact with them. But do we often do that? Do we do that? If we have someone in our life who tends to yell a lot or something, we probably think that's what they're all about. And maybe that was just the time period we knew that person. Maybe that, we ran into them on a few bad days, or we know them in a certain circumstance of their life where it's a hard day for them or something. But whatever it is, we're each responsible for it in our own way, right? And I just think it can happen quickly. I remember there was a time in my life where, I focused a lot on things that I wanted that I didn't have, or relationships that I wanted that I didn't have, and how that expressed and played itself out. And I think that's all okay, right? Everything is okay. Nothing is wrong. Everything that we go through. And yet I'm cautious now, as I've matured, I hope, that I don't spend so much time on it, right? That I don't spend so much time on living inside of an emotion of a way a relationship makes me feel, and trying to get that relationship to make me feel different than it keeps making me feel. I have other relationships that make me feel good inside, so I focus on those. I focus on those ones, and that's totally cool, and we're all different, And I'm not saying I don't acknowledge other challenging things about the ones that I focus on, or about other relationships that are just challenging. Those exist, and I don't just turn a blind eye to things in relationships that are challenging. That's not the point. So, but it's what you focus on, what you habitually focus on, and this breathing practice over time, this mindfulness of the breath. I think over time of practicing it, it's taught me a lot about that kind of thing. And so feel free to comment below if you've got questions. I hope this is helpful. And when you're grounded in this strength of spirit, it can give you freedom in life. I hope you can see that. I hope you can see that, and that we can all orient in that direction and start moving towards that from wherever we are. Because where I was at 20 years ago is even still not something that I'm proud of, I wanted to discuss. And, even maybe something triggered me last week and it wasn't great. So we're all human. And so still, each and every day, I want to make an impact on others' lives. I want to focus on that love that's inside of myself. I want to make an impact on my family's life. And I want to share the possibilities of the goodness of the human spirit, the transformation that's available. And what transformation, I learned, really is just, it's awareness. And a lot of it is becoming aware of this love that's who you are, this loving awareness at the core of who you are. And we're all told a story, and we tell ourselves a story about the things that are wrong. since we're very little, and how we have to be in this world and everything, and still valid, we have to be in this world, and still within that there's this loving awareness at our core, that the more that we can be that awareness, it's what we are, but we realize that we're that awareness, the more sort of magic can happen in our lives, and even with all the thousands of joys and thousand stars in our lives. So I hope that's helpful. I hope you're having a happy Friday. Yay Friday. I mean, every day is one day of your life, right? But and whatever day it is that you're watching this, and if you're watching a recording, comment where and when you're watching it from. If you're watching live, comment where when you're watching it from, if you want to, because I would really like those. I really like those comments. I'd like for you to hit that like button. I would be super excited, and so I hope this is all helpful. I have been Tom Kirkham.